Hello. Welcome to a special Friday edition of the DeSarno Report, the People's Podcast. Excited for the follow up to our pod from, I think it came out yesterday. Or no, yeah, yesterday. Well, today is Thursday, so it came out Wednesday, came out a day late. But I recorded it on time. There's some audio issues. I do apologize. The first 7 minutes is nearly unlistenable. That is my fault. My microphone was not plugged in. If you listened on YouTube, you would see on the video me standing there with holding the microphone wire. Any other platform, you must have been so confused. Makes sense. But anyways, we are back with more TDR, and we're going to stay with the main topic last week in the episode. I believe I called it Drool Britannia. We're still in Britain as the fallout from the local elections continues. Big news today came in early. Wes Streeting, who yesterday, on Wednesday, was seen leaving 10 Downing Street, the residence of the Prime Minister. It looked miffed, would be the way to describe it, after only a 16-minute meeting. And then he came out with a statement resigning from his post as the Minister for Health and for Health, essentially, for the NHS, which was a major role. He has officially resigned, and he's basically called on Starmer and said, "Hey, it's time to go." And that's where the things have lied. Starmer is he's in a weird spot. He's very defensive right now. But he essentially said, hey, you don't have the people. You need 80. I think the percentage of the PLP, the Parliamentary Labour Party, that is needed to trigger a leadership election, leadership contest, the number is 81 MPs. Starmer believes he does not. That Wes Streeting does not have 81. So that changes things for Wes Streeting. That changes things for a bunch of people. Also notable, Angela Rayner today, on Thursday, came out with a decision from her tax affairs, which we'd mentioned. No wrongdoing. She paid whatever she needed to pay, and they said no wrongdoing. So she has all that handled right now, which does throw a wrench into things. A lot of speculation over the past couple of days about Ed Miliband. For those of you who do not know Ed Miliband was somebody who worked under Blair and Brown, who were the leaders of the United Kingdom, of Labour in the United Kingdom from about, I believe, 1994 to 2010. He worked under them. And then he ends up taking over the leadership of the Labour Party. After the 2010 election, he ends up defeating his own brother, David, in this, which I think is still strains kind of like the relationships in the family. He defeats him. He takes the leadership of the Labour Party. Popular within the Labour membership, not popular nationally. His father was like a Marxist academic. He is not a Marxist or an academic. But he was kind of seen as the person at the soft left of the Labour Party, that if Wes Streeting were to trigger an election, if Rayner was unable to run because of her tax affairs, which are now known to be settled, he would have been the guy who would said, okay, I have already led the Labour Party. I did in 2015 when we lost to David Cameron. But I'd be willing to stand, and he would likely win because of his popularity with the actual constituency and members of the Labour Party, which tends to be further to the left than members of the Parliamentary Labour Party. The other big news, some would say the biggest news of the day, is Andy Burnham, who we mentioned in the last podcast, the mayor of Greater Manchester. He found somebody willing to step aside for him to go back and enter Parliament. I believe his name was Joel Simons, excuse me. His seat, the seat he occupies, is in between Liverpool and Manchester. For those of you who don't know, I believe it's about 2 hours apart. And that's where he's from. And the seat that he held, that Andy Burnham had held in his time in Parliament, was directly next to this seat. So he does have a constituency and I believe this is in Greater Manchester. So he technically is the mayor of this place as well. In the local elections, Reform flipped, I believe, all the council seats from Labor. So Reform made massive gains in the area. But this had been a Labor seat for many, many years and still is as of yesterday. So while the typical fortunes of, if you were to look at that seat and under any other circumstance, you would say this is going to likely go to Reform UK, go to Nigel Farage's party. In this specific case, Andy Burnham is popular there. He's got a constituency there. It looks like he may be able to win. It will not be easy. He will have to campaign hard for it. It's not going to be like Gorton and Denton, which I had mentioned in our last podcast, which was about a month ago. Would have been an easier seat if he had been allowed to run. But the NEC, which I believe I called the National Election Council, it's the National Executive Committee. NEC had allowed him to run. They had not. They blocked him. This time, reports from the Starmer camp from number 10 are saying essentially they're not going to block him. And Streeting, who is ideologically similar to Starmer, has a lot of friends at high levels of the Labour Party, also had indicated that he may be in support of Burnham coming back, as well as Angela Rayner and Ed Miliband and lots of other influential Labour Party figures, not including Starmer. He has not said anything. I do not believe. I don't think he made a public comment today. So things are in a different spot. What was one of the things that was interesting about, I believe it was Joe Simons, the person who had originally held the seat, was that he had led something called Labor Together. For those of you who don't know, Jeremy Corbyn, who is like a socialist, a longtime Labor MP, became the leader after Ed Miliband, who we just mentioned, lost the 2015 election. He comes into power. He is extremely popular within the Labour Party, and he rides that. He defeats Burnham, actually, in an election for the leadership of the Labour Party, and takes over, as I said, a avowed leftist, very popular with young people. They saw the party membership grow, but in 2019, they were unable to defeat Boris Johnson, former mayor of London, now disgraced man with very bright hair, with very bright blonde hair and an odd haircut. He was defeated in the general election in 2019 and ends up losing the leadership of the Labour Party over a scandal revolving around anti-Semitism. Now, there's reason to believe that scandal might have been manufactured by a group in part called Labor Together. Labor Together, what they did, essentially is ran by this guy Morgan McSweeney and this Joel Simons guy. McSweeney was kind of like the comms director, kind of like the man behind the man with Starmer, helping fuel his rise, guiding him politically. He's kind of like the ideological center of what Starmer was doing. Of Starmerism is also McSweeneyism. And what happened was because of the anti-Semitism scandal, lots of left-leaning socialist adjacent figures in the Labour Party were essentially purged. Corbyn still is in Parliament as an independent, tried to start a party, didn't really work, with Zara Sultana, another sort of leftist figure. And now McSweeney, who was a close ally of Peter Mandelson, who was a part of the Blairite project in the 1990s and early 2000s, also kind of happened to be maybe best friends with Jeffrey Epstein, maybe was floating him information about things that were going on in the financial markets with the pound, that he may have had, he may have been privy to information that otherwise he would have not been privy to. And so now McSweeney resigned recently, a couple months ago. Still some belief that he may be taking part in decision makings in number 10. But things have changed. The party, this is something that I think I view as a major issue when the people in the leadership of a party get really far away from the people that vote for it. I mean, this is what led to the rise of Donald Trump. This is what has led to Democratic malaise in 2024, I think. Um, so you could say it led to the rise of Donald Trump twice, whether it be Republican or Democratic elites being out of touch with their bases. So I think it's one of the most dangerous things that can happen in politics. Yeah, so essentially, this Joel Simons figure, worked with Corbyn, then starts Labor Together, then leaves Labor Together, now is stepping aside for Burnham of the soft left to come into power. I should say also McSweeney was kind of like a Peter Mandelson, one of his best friends. It seems as though they're very close, but is an ally, ideological ally from the right of the Labor Party. So these are center-right figures, really. We're talking about, well, Burnham is a leftist figure. Starmer's supposed to be center-left, supposed to be, who knows? And then Corbyn, who I had mentioned, is a socialist. He's truly a leftist. So now let's move on to a little bit brighter topic, Ukraine, the Russo-Ukrainian war, which currently seems to be going pretty well for the Ukrainians. We've seen them sign a bunch of arms contracts recently with Gulf states, because one of the things that we've seen with Ukraine is they've essentially almost halted Russian advances. Russia is currently not able to replace the soldiers they're losing on the battlefield. They're unable to recruit soldiers to replace them right now, which is a problem for Russia. We've seen Putin, Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, signal that he may not want to continue this that much longer. But he still doesn't intend to negotiate on anything but his own terms. He still does not want to see EU or NATO expansion closer to the Russian border, which I don't know if he'll be able to stop. I don't think he's got the cards, as our American president would say. But essentially what Ukraine has done is they've been extremely resilient, but they've been able to build a really impressive arsenal and really impressive industry around drone warfare. And that has been able to allow them to strike deeper into Russia, attack energy plants, attack critical infrastructure that makes it hard to resupply the front lines. And this has really taken a toll on the Russian soldiers and the Russian forward movement, which is great for Ukraine, which I'd love to see. Yeah, so that was a little Ukraine update. Hopefully we get some good news there too. We got Trump and Xi right now in China. I don't know. It's just funny whenever he goes places. That's our guy. It's just crazy. That's our guy. I don't have much to say there. I haven't been up to it too much. Been up with it. What else? Cuba. Cuba has run out of oil apparently, which is devastating for a lot of local Cubans, especially people who are sick in the hospital, babies being born, people in hospice care. Essentially, they're running out of oil. They've been dealing with rolling blackouts for months at this point, and it's really dire straits. Apparently, we're sending the CIA director to Cuba to speak with the leaders of the government. I'm guessing they want him to step down and want the United States to take over. But I don't know. It's just a really sad situation. Cuba is poor because of the United States. They have run out of oil because of the United States, because of the decisions made in Washington, and it's very upsetting. And that's all I got to say on that. I know I have a guest coming soon, so I want to run through some stuff. We'll do the Tom Kane. So Tom Kane, I live in NJ7. I live in the New Jersey 7th Congressional District. My congressman is a guy named Tom Kane Jr. He's not very notable besides the fact that his dad is the governor, and there's a college in the state of New Jersey named after his family, Kane University. My father actually has a degree from there. He hasn't been anywhere. So since March 5th, he's not voted. He's not been seen on the floor. He's not been seen anywhere. He did make a statement saying he was dealing with health issues. Hasn't specified. He was known for being unwilling to speak with the media. He's not a very good talker. him and his father, I think they might have some sort of speech impediment. They both speak very weirdly. Like if you heard them, you would not have guessed they were from New Jersey. Like I guess me, you can tell kind of. These guys have weird voices. They sound almost British. Um, and he hasn't been nowhere to that he has been nowhere to be seen. Um, yeah, that's a problem. I wish my member of Congress was somewhere to be seen. Hopefully, voting for things that I agree with and represent the people of the New Jersey 7th District. He's not doing that. So that's a major issue. He's obviously up for re-election this year. There was a debate the other day. I have not decided who I want to support yet. Um, I was watching the debate. I have not finished it, so there's context I'm missing. The two people I was interested in hearing really were Rebecca Bennett, who is a former Navy pilot, and Brian Varela, who actually I signed a petition for. They came to my house, and I was just like, "Get away! I'll sign it." Get on the ballot, and I don't know who sees what. Maybe I'll vote for you. Maybe I won't. Um, I have not decided. I think I'm out on Bennett. She gave an answer I did not agree with on Israel and Palestine. I think the United States should be out of the Israel business, frankly. I think it's just bad. It's bad for us to continue to be a part of that and waste taxpayer dollars on atrocious, horrible things. We're supposed to be this beacon of democracy, freedom, and all this stuff, and we fund bad things that kill innocent people, and it makes me feel bad. And we should stop doing that. I will stand by that view. Okay, that's on the 7th District. Keep it light. A little hantavirus. More people getting sick. I don't like it. I don't want to do that. There was a cruise ship. They let the people off it. There were two people in New Jersey I saw that had been reported to have a hantavirus. They were being treated. People keep saying that because it kills people too quick, it can't spread. Which, okay, good, it can't spread, but it kills people too quick. Is that like that's the positive I'm supposed to take away? That's not good. I would prefer it killed people, not at all. But apparently, it's killing people fast. No, I don't. No, I'm gonna wash. I've been washing my hands like a maniac. You should see me with the frickin'. I got a Purell on my desk. My hands are dry because I'm hitting that Purell. It's even got aloe in it. I'm worried about the hantavirus. I really don't want to do this whole song and dance again. Like we did it once with the last pandemic. Please, please, please don't do it again. I beg you. I beg you. Let's get this. Let's nip this in the butt. I really don't want to know. I recently bought concert tickets to This Is Lorelei for November. I would like to go. I have concert tickets for Wonder Horse in July. I would like to go. Please, pretty please. I don't know who that pretty please is for, but let's just figure it out. Let's just figure it out. Let's just nip it in the butt. Like just nip it in the butt. If you got the hantavirus, we're gonna put you in a room. You come out if you're alive if you're alive, maybe we'll get some bubble boy doctor sort of stuff like sticking the arm through. I really don't want to deal with this. This legitimately makes me angry if officials don't take it seriously. Like we didn't just have it's like melting our what happened from March 2020 onward is like melting our society in the worst possible way. Like our kids can't read anymore. They can't do math. We might have one of those kids appear soon. But yeah, this is not good. We gotta stop the hantavirus, dude. Maybe I gotta do it. Maybe I gotta go full like Fauci or something. I don't know how I'd do it, but I'd be willing to do whatever. I would die for Pakistan. I will give my life for Pakistan. That was just a nice 4-year-old reference. All right, another twist. Let's talk about the Giants. My beloved, beloved Giants. Oh, how I love them so much. The schedule came out today for the NFL. I've now watched all the videos. I watched the Chargers video. They made a Rossini joke. That's great. I didn't watch the Giants one yet. Apparently, it's Jameis Winston themed. I do love Jameis Winston. I am a Jameis Winston lover. Okay, let's go through game by game, and I'll give you my breakdown. Win or lose, we'll see how we do when we get through this. Okay, Week 1, Sunday Night Football, Dallas Cowboys. We open with Dallas a lot on Sunday night. This has happened a bunch of times over the past 20 years, or even just the Giants in prime time. Here's the problem: the last 10 years, the Giants have played in prime time. We embarrass ourselves at like an 80% clip. Like, it's bad. Like, we had the 40-0 loss. Like, the Giants embarrass themselves at a ridiculous clip on national television. But we got Johnny Harbaugh and we got Jackson Dart. What did Jackson Dart do on Thursday Night Football against the Eagles last year? Balled out and won. This is different. No more of this sad sack shit from the Giants. No more. This is a new team, a new organization. 1-0. Brian Schottenheimer, 1-0. Dak Prescott, 1-0. CD's nuts, 1-0. I predicted we're going to beat the Cowboys. The Los Angeles Rams quarterback is old, and we got young, fast guys on the line. Automatic, 2-0. The Titans, Cam Ward, half the player of Jackson Dart. Brian Daboll, revenge game? I don't think so. Giants revenge game against Brian Daboll. 3-0. The Cardinals. Who the hell is on the Cardinals? Marvin Harrison? Some player he is. 4-0. 4-0. Game 5. Week 5. 1 o'clock. October 11th. We play the Commies. We play the Commies. I'm gonna call in. We're gonna call someone right now. We'll see if they answer on the pod. Calling. We'll see if he answers. If he doesn't answer, I'm gonna edit this out. It's just my one friend. He's a Commanders fan. I don't know if he's gonna answer. I don't think he's gonna answer. Oh. Nope. Do not want to release his phone number. I'll get a text in 5 minutes. Yo, what? It's like, dude, you're missing out on this on TDR. We're about to break down the game. And you know what's going to happen? Because he didn't answer the phone. Boom. Giants win. Giants win. Away. They're going to the Commies. They're going into the den. Into the hog pen. The sty. They're going into the sty and getting a dub. Jaden Daniels. Oh, sophomore slump. No, he's bad now. Jackson Dart is the future. Win. The Saints, week 6 at home. All right. This is tough. Tyler Shuck's a good player, man. Tyler Shuck, man. Tyler Shuck, great player. That was my John Gruden. I was in the car speaking to myself, I want to say about a month ago. I did a great John Gruden. I have been unable to capture the magic since. But no, Tyler Shuck, good player. Giants win 6-0. Texans, week 7, away, 1 o'clock. Texans, stout defensive team. Will Anderson, great up front. Solid in the back end. Stingley, like they got real talent on that defense. Great coached defense. But CJ Stroud peaked as a rookie. Never got back to those heights, even with the defense he's got on the other side of the ball. That's unfortunate because we have this guy's name's Jackson Dart, and he's elite. And he's going to defeat whatever the Texans can throw at him. 7-0. Now we got a bye week, and after a blistering 7-0 start, I think rest is needed because we've got a lot of games left. 10 games straight. That's a long run. That's a long run. All right, so let's get going. First week off the bye. We go into the Hawk's Nest, which is the nickname for Hitler's mountaintop retreat, which is essentially very similar to Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, home of Philadelphia Eagles. and we're about to pound them. Hurting Eagles, I believe, is a federal crime. We're going to commit a federal crime. And we're going to defeat the Philadelphia Eagles in a violent fashion. 8-0. All right. Oh, a fun little Thursday game. Oh, who are we playing? Oh, the Commies. Oh, the Commanders. Thursday night, week 10, November 12th. Who plays great on Thursday night? Maybe is it Jackson Dart? Are you referring to Jackson Dart? Nickelodeon Player of the Week? Kids' Choice Player of the Week? Jackson Dart? I think he's awesome on Thursday nights. 9-0. Win. Dub against the Dubs. The Commanders from Washington. Ice pick to the eye of the Commies. Victory. All right. Week 11. Home. Against none other than the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jags? They made a little run in the playoffs. They made the playoffs, right? I think so. Trevor Lawrence. Out of the draft, they said he was generational. He's just Daniel Jones with better hair. And we know what Daniel Jones is like. Daniel Jones is ass. 10-0. That's a dub for the Giants. Oh, week 12. The Colts away? Who's on the Colts? Oh, Daniel Jones. What did we just say about Daniel Jones? We just said that he's ass. Because he is ass. I don't care who he's got around him. That man, I believed in him. I believed in Daniel Jones for years. I was one of the last people off the Daniel Jones train. Am I proud of it? No, I am not. I am not proud of that. But I believed that he could improve. I believed in my team. And you know what he did? He let me down. He made me look stupid time and time again. Even after I told people he won a playoff game. You remember that? He won a playoff. He'll be good. He won a playoff game. He's Vanilla Vic. Remember that? Vanilla Vic? Nope. He just ruined Sundays for me for like 5 years. Daniel Jones is losing in week 12. 11-0. All right. Here we go. Now we got a big game. A talented squad's coming in. San Francisco, December 6th, 1 o'clock, at home, in the Meadowlands, on the MetLife turf. We know what the San Francisco 49ers deal with at home. They've got the electric substation directly next to their playing field and their practice field. They have weak ligaments. They have weak tendons. They have fragile muscles. They have fragile bones because of this treacherous electric substation. And you mix that with the MetLife turf. I think that's disaster waiting to happen for the San Francisco 49ers. And Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo and Malik Neighbors, and Isaiah Likely, and Tyrone Tracy, and Darnell Mooney, and Theo Johnson, and Andrew Thomas, and Jermaine Illuminor, and John Runyon, and John Michael Schmitz, and Francis Mauigoa, and Pat Ricard, they're going to say F you. 12-0. This is a tough one, too. Back to back. We're going away across the country. We're playing the Super Bowl champs. Playing the Seattle Seahawks. 4:25. Afternoon game. December in Seattle. Nice time. You know, it doesn't get too hot or too cold there. You know, it's always pretty comfortable. Throw a jacket on maybe. It'll rain probably. It'll be raining tears as the Seattle Seahawks are trounced by the New York Giants. Brian Burns, 6 sacks. Kayvon Thibodeau, 4 sacks. Arvell Reese, 3 sacks. Abdul Carter, 6 sacks. Calling it all in one game. Week 13. 13 games. 13 opponents. 13 wins for my New York Giants, I'm predicting. Week 15, Cleveland Browns win. Week 16, tough one. Monday Night Football. Detroit going there to see the Lions, to see Dan Campbell, to see Jared Goff. This is a talented team. No joke. They got good players. Amon-Ra, Aiden Hutchinson. They got good guys. But here's the thing. So do we. And I spoke earlier about how the Giants continue to embarrass themselves on national television. Not anymore. Things have changed. That's a win. 15-0. Here we are again. We saw him week 1. Now it's week 17. And the Dallas Cowboys are up next. And we got to go down there. We're going to Dallas in January. Texas in January. It might be nice and it'll be like maybe 50, 40. North Texas in Arlington. I think that could be good. It might be a good time. You know, the Giants will come in. They'll look at the opponents on the other side of the field. And they'll say, wow, remember when we beat them? That was like 3 months ago. Times have changed. We're even better now than we were back then. Let's do it again. Victory, 16-0. Lastly, finish at home, which is nice. It's a beautiful thing to play at home. And now, who do we play? Da 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 do 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 do. Oh, we play the Philadelphia Eagles. Last time we played them, we committed a federal crime. Now we're gonna commit a galactic one. The Empire, the evil empire that is the Philadelphia Eagles. They have a Big Dom's their Darth Maul. He's got the two-sided lightsaber, except his is cannolis and John's roast pork sandwiches. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to leave him basted in that roast pork sauce while we defeat them. We don't even have to play this game. We've got the 1 seed locked up. We've got a bye locked up. We've just won 17 straight. We can put the 2s in. It's Jameis Winston's time. You know who I'm talking about? Future Hall of Famer Jameis Winston. Former number 1 pick Jameis Winston. Former Heisman Trophy winner Jameis Winston. Former 30-30 player Jameis Winston. Former college football national champion Jameis Winston. And he's going to dominate the Eagles in a way they will not forget. The city of Philadelphia will not forget this day. January 9th and or 10th. Time to be determined on the grounds in East Rutherford, New Jersey, in the shadows of the Ferris wheel at the American Dream Mall. There will be destruction. There will be pain. And it will not be felt by the boys in blue. I will tell you that. 17-0. 17-0. That is my official prediction for the New York Giants this upcoming season on this beautiful, beautiful 5/14/2026. It's 9:29 p.m. I want it on the record. I want it on the record. The New York Football Giants are 17-0. I assume our guest is not coming. We did call somebody. They did not answer. Screw you. Yeah, that's all I got. Tomorrow, what am I doing? I'm going to the PGA Championship. That was what I was going to talk about with my guest. My guest will not appear. I did put a chair here. It's only a little sand. They didn't appear. What you do? All right. Should be fun. Rooting for Max Homa, who I think played terribly today. We got her up, Jersey guy. He played not very well. And Koepka, I think, is tied 15th. He's not far off the lead. So maybe we'll root for Brooks. Blake of the Year competitor. Ladies and gentlemen, I feel like that was a good way to end the episode. It was a little heavy to start. Another long British politics explainer, which I know my listeners love. Talked about war crimes for a little bit, sick congressmen, and infectious disease. And we end on a beautiful 17-0 record for my New York Giants. This has been the DeSarno Report. Thank you.